Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Capricorn December 3, 2022. With today's Mercury-Saturn square, you may need to change your thinking on a matter or alter your expectations. It's best to keep in mind that perceptions may be temporarily wavering. Fortunately, Venus and Saturn harmonize, helping ground you. You can feel more and more empowered by facing realities and truths or appreciating the things that are working well in your life. Focusing on one particular task at a time is comforting and beneficial with this transit in effect. It can help increase your appeal as you feel more comfortable with yourself. It's a good idea to take things one step at a time, and if you can stick with this attitude, it can take you places, even if it's a slow ride. Taking things easy and slowing your approach can work wonders, and it can also even out your mood. Dark storms await you today. Mental Mercury, as he dances joyously through your elevated solar 11th house, will get some bad news. He will feel suddenly battered and bruised after getting kicked to the curb by a drunken Neptune. This foretells very dark energy around friends, your network, your acquaintances, or even an ex. This is especially true if you've lent money to them. You or they may be angry if someone is not being paid back. This square will pass rather quickly, so table discussions and turmoil and know you'll get to the other side. Commit to your professional dreams. You are meant to work with others or accept help to complete a goal when Venus in Sagittarius opposes Mars retrograde in Gemini. There is so much to do or work on in so little time, so this opposition may give you a greater awareness as to what to focus on. Some of your more upfront work friends may also say something that will encourage you to commit to an aspiration that you may have. Keep an open mind about how you can move forward, and your plan of action will not fail. Before leaving your income sector today, the moon will align with both Jupiter and Neptune at a critical point in this financial year for both. This first visit since Jupiter turned direct and the last before he leaves comes just as Neptune moves into his final days in retrograde motion here. As well as sharpening your nose for money and acting as a trigger, the moon is giving you a better read on the planets of luck and dreams as they start to come alive. Once you have formed an opinion, you usually stick to it. Your goal in life is to develop true self-confidence that comes from within. Your independence of thought enables you to find the right path leading to a good balance, but you tend to easily lose it in a moment of eccentricity. The best practice to combat this is regular yoga, the gentle firming up of your muscles accompanied by the gentle release of negative energy. Welcome to the often exciting vibration of this day. It's not only a new day, but also a new month, and you couldn't get a better day to start a new project. Your life path is to work towards building large things that improve the lives of everyone. You are, after all, considered to be the master builder. 22. While this isn't always the easiest role to fulfill, it's one to be proud of and to apply great dedication to. Make the most of this day. Before leaving your income sector today, the moon will not only align with Jupiter and Neptune for the last time in our lifetime while they are together here, but will clash with the dwarf planet Ceres for the last time before she leaves your financial sector, wrapping up a deep dive into your financial needs and priorities. With Neptune in retrograde motion for another 2 days and the moon making its last visit before Jupiter leaves, this is highlighting a balance between money coming in and money going out while moving into the most potentially lucrative weeks of the year. After Mars clashed with both Venus and Mercury, the planets of love and communication over the last few days, things are not only a lot more settled today, but the moon's return to your communication sector will see it form a friendly aspect to both over the coming days. At the same time, with Mars in retrograde motion in your romantic sector, this has awoken old passions. Our eyes in the sky. This could be a strenuous day. Be mindful of releasing any tension you might pick up by focusing on your breath and relaxing your shoulders. Problems might appear larger than they actually are at first, so keep a level head if you experience any bumps in the road. Try to understand that you're the victim of projection by others, and don't take their harsh words to heart. The moon in Pisces squares Mercury in Sagittarius, giving you a chance to speak up. In an effort for you to stay focused on your work, you are likely to get misinformation that may throw you off track. If something sounds suspicious, feel free to take the time to double-check it instead of hastily moving on without question. Remember that it's okay to go off script if it helps your emotional state to deviate from your usual routine. Ultimately, the main message is to not be overly critical of or hard on yourself or others. The details you neglected on a recent project are catching up to you and backfiring. You may need to readjust your position today in order to get back on track with the correct procedure. Admit your mistakes instead of covering them up and move on. Dealing with financial matters in a totally relaxed way, others may be stressed and fearful, but you cope with the situation in a straightforward and calm manner. You are courageous enough to act at the right moment and to make profits. Don't overdo it, because pride comes before a fall, and you would ruin all you achieved. Your encounters run smoothly and amicably, like a peaceful flowing river. Family and friends would love to ride this wave with you. You now have the opportunity to resolve old conflicts and hurts and to move forward united. If you are smart about it, you will strengthen ties to your loved ones. Tonight brings a nice, cozy vibe, so plan to stay in for the evening. You'll likely need to recharge after the day is done. After midnight, the Pisces moon squares off with retrograde Mars in Gemini, prompting us to make irrational choices. We believe we are judging a situation accurately, when in truth, we're extra sensitive to small and even imagined slights. This causes us to respond to fictional threats in largely unconscious ways. The assumption that we must defend ourselves through speech may be premature. Keep this in mind before acting or reacting. Work conversations today may be completely over your head. Don't pretend that you know what is going on if you do not. It is better to ask questions than to make believe that you understand when that is not necessarily the case. According to plan, work commitments are easily dealt with, leaving you time to devote to things you're interested in or find more important. Your warm-hearted way of dealing with people you care for assures you the satisfaction and contentment you require, which you get from the affectionate response received in return. In the late afternoon, Mercury in Sagittarius squares off with Neptune in Pisces, exacerbating the day's erratic energy. This is a transit of poor judgment calls. Contractual affairs should be avoided outright. There are likely to be loopholes or vague verbiage that cause us to think we're agreeing to one thing when we are signing on to something quite different. Yet, while we are perhaps more susceptible to manipulation tactics now, given both planets squaring in optimistic, Jupiter-ruled signs, the real enemy is our tendency towards self-deception. We want to believe. The desire to have our biases confirmed places us in a vulnerable position.